Hi everyone, well I'm going to do a quick video on some of the applications on my iMac dock. Now I know there are heaps of these videos out there and a lot of people are just going through the same old softwares, the typical um, Word, PowerPoint, Finder, Skype, iChat kind of things in terms of what's actually available and what they're actually using. I just thought I'd introduce you to a couple of new apps which perhaps you guys are not familiar with and or rather haven't seen being used in an iMac environment. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is probably, Geekbench. Now, for those of you out there who know what Geekbench is, well, this won't be of much use, but for those of you who want to have an application which shows you how to benchmark your system, you can actually use Geekbench. Now, there are two versions of it. There's a 32-bit and a 64-bit one. I recommend that you get the 64-bit one if your computer has been acquired in the last, say, 18 months. It would probably give you a more realistic assessment, because there is a significant difference in the way the benchmark scores are actually computed. So let's get started. I'll just run the benchmark while in the background we talk about the other apps which I have on my taskbar. Now, transmission, we all know what that is. Basically, to get your torrent files. I've got Adobe Premiere, CS4, Photoshop, CS4, as well as Soundbooth and After Effects. Now I don't really use the other Adobe applications like Flash, etc. But just in case you guys haven't seen what CS4 looks like, it's a pretty simple. Well, I wouldn't call it simple, but it's a pretty advanced video editing software, and far more advanced than what you can do with iMovie. So let me just load something up, and it will sort of show you exactly what the interface looks like. Now, the other software which I do have, which I'll go on to, is Photoshop, CS4. Everyone should be aware of that. So now that Premiere is loaded up, I guess the way the Premiere screen works is you have all your audio, video files on the left here, and you drag your frames across here. This is a preview screen, and then this is the output screen. So to show you exactly what I mean, this is the output screen in terms of what's actually been rendered. Obviously, it is jarring because it's only in a preview mode. So let me just get out of this. Photoshop, we know. Now Soundbooth. Soundbooth again is similar to Premiere, but in the sense that you can do a lot of fine editing for audio files. But keyword here is for audio files. Yeah, it's not for video. So similar kind of layout. You have your files at the left, and you will have your wave pattern somewhere here, and then you can edit that. Adobe After Effects. Well, Adobe After Effects is again a video editing program, but it's more used not so much for editing. It's actually to give your videos a certain glow, or customization in terms of putting in special effects. I don't know whether I've got any recent projects here. Let me see. Let me just check. No, I probably don't. Okay, but similar in concept. What happens is you've got your different effects over here. As you can see, you'll have your video running in the foreground here, and then you apply these effects. And of course, as you apply these effects, you will be able to see the effects options over here, and then you can arrange for it to be rendered before exporting it out or saving it into any other format which you want. Now, Acrobat I won't go into. Mindjet Mind Manager. Now, Mindjet Mind Manager is more of a brainstorming kind of software. So let me just open something up for you. So what happens here is that it allows you to actually map out all your thoughts. There are various templates, and you can put in things at work, your personal projects, which you're working on, and you want to put all your thoughts into paper. Now, once you put it in over here, an interesting component is that you can actually export a lot of the stuff out to Word, PowerPoint, Excel, project. So it's a little handy thing to actually have. Uh, Firefox Safari, we won't talk about it. Nah, we won't talk about that. These iTunes, well, everyone knows what that is. iPhotos, well, this is iPhoto 11, iMovie 11. I'm sure there are a lot of other videos in the market. Now I've got stuff with Expander and Drop Stuff, and this is basically compression utilities. Uh, the new Microsoft Word. Not sure whether you guys have seen it, but it's got a lot of eye candy out there. It is better than the previous version. The new PowerPoint, the new Excel, the Outlook. I don't use it much. I was playing around with DJ software here. I think it's expired, but I'm not gonna open it. But I've moved on to a more comprehensive DJing tool, along with I've got actually the DJ panel in terms of a digital mixer with the ability to actually scratch and mix tracks in. So I'll go into that very soon. Now I've got a new software here called Dragon Dictate, and what Dragon Dictate does is it's a speech recognition software. So you launch the software, it tells you what accent, you configure your accent, you configure your mic, and once you're into that, what it does is it brings an interface for you to actually go in. As you can see, there's an interface there for you, and what you can do is basically select any application you want, and it will actually as you talk, the words will actually type by itself, or rather be recognized, and you could use it as an input into any application which you so desire. I've got a separate video on how this works, so there will be a link which you can actually go into and review it in greater detail. So let me close these applications. There's a lot of them running in the foreground and background. So Dragon Dictate, I thought now my preferred mind mapping software is actually Tony Buzan's iMindMap version 4.1. It's a bit more graphical in terms of how you want it, but let me see. We can create new ones. You notice that these look visually more appealing because they're more curvy than the Mindjet Mind Manager. If you just do the comparison, this looks so academic. The Mind Manager one looks, the Mind Manager one looks so academic and so boxy, whereas the Tony Buzan one, I think it looks a lot more fluid. Fluid is probably the best way to describe it. I like this a lot, and again, you've got the ability to do different modes of data entry. You've got a project management module. You can do it in terms of text. You can write it down like in terms of like an outline format. You can do it in terms of a project plan, like if you look at it below here. You can even do it in terms of a presentation view. Now the presentation view is kind of interesting. I'm not sure whether it's working right now. Anyway, this to move forward. ScreenFlow, well, this is the application I'm using currently to capture this video. Zinio Reader. I thought I might show you this. Now, Zinio Reader is basically an application which allows you to download digital content, digital magazines, as you can see here, and it allows you to view and read these magazines as they become available. You can see that they're actually flipping through the pages, and they're very nice on a 27-inch screen. I can tell you that much. If you like a particular article, or you think that the text is too small, well, you can always zoom in to a particular segment. You can obviously get thumbnails at the bottom of the screen, so that's pretty handy. And if you want to zoom in, obviously it just goes in. You can talk about, you can read a lot more clearly. You can zoom out. So yeah, Zinio Reader. Obviously, you can have a lot of content. There's an extensive library. You just got to go to zinio.com for it. And this is the PowerPoint view. So as you click, it does a bit of a slide presentation kind of thing. So which I think is quite nice. So let me get out of this. Okay. Now I've got Parallels. Well, Parallels is the virtualization software, and um, let me just load it up. I'm not going to go into Windows 7, but basically, yeah, you've got your Windows OS configured here if you need it. You can obviously customize your virtual machine depending on how you want to do it. So, you know, like I've set 26 megabytes of memory. I've put in like heaps of RAM and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, so there's heaps you can do with it to speed it up, but Parallels it is. I used to use VMware 4, didn't like it, moved to Parallels. Transmission, yep, we know what it is. Oh, we missed Lightroom. Okay, so Lightroom is again a photo application software, but more for photo management. I use this quite a bit to, you know, to collate my photos. Obviously, you can do a bit of developing work here. You can see the different settings. You can have different libraries here. Like I've got this is for my Warsaw trip earlier on this year. So you can catalog your photographs. You know, you have the ability to do a before and after comparison, or you can view two photographs on the same screen. Pretty handy, I would say. Gives you a good perspective of your entire collection. But this is mostly for managing your photographs. So you can go to develop, you can go to slideshow mode, you can go to print mode, you can choose how you want to do it. Okay, so the next one I've got here is the Telecom Connection Manager. Now this is what I use to connect my USB dongle to the internet. Right now it's going through a router, so I won't talk about it. Now this is the software which I'm using for mixing my music. It's called the Serato H. Serato H is basically connected to a digital turntable, and you know, this turntable is what I have down here. Unfortunately, I don't think you can see it, but let me see if I can flip it out. I'm not sure whether you can. So this is it. This is what I'm talking about. Now this is what I use to mix my music. So I've got my music over here on the left, you know, so I've got my tracks here, and then what happens is using my controller, I can actually you know, bring a track down to the left box, as you can see over here, and then if I press play, you can see the audio spectrum over here. Obviously, the music sector needs to be configured to my speakers, but you get the picture. I think you know what exactly I mean. So if I put another track over here, you see that queue up as well. I can play that, and then obviously using the controls I have down here, I can mix, match, scratch. I can do whatever I want. Great. So that's the Serato mixer. So yes, now I've got my trading application, and what I use to trade my shares, my positions. So there we go. You know, this is what it is. So these are market positions. This is from E-Trade Financial. So you can see your charts, you can see your sector analysis, your news analysis, basically whatever you want in terms of, you know, tracking your investments through E-Trade. Right. So well, I think that's really all the cool stuff which I've got on my iMac. Love to hear your thoughts, and if you are using any of the applications which I am, and if you're having problems or you found alternatives to what I'm using, do let me know. Great. Thank you again. Bye-bye.